Hi, everybody. Wow, it's really special to be here today. I have to say it's funny to be here because a year ago we weren't a React Native app. Gobi actually was initially built with something called Capacitor, and I never would have imagined a year later that I'm here talking at a React Native conference coming from being a Capacitor app. I have a story to tell, but actually, I want to do something really quickly. My mom said she wanted a photo of me at the conference because this is the first time I've ever spoken at a tech conference, or a conference at all for that matter. So could I get everyone on 3 to just be in my selfie here? I'm going to zoom out. Can everyone just raise up? I'm going to count down to 3, 2, 1. I'll take the photo. If everyone just puts their hands up and makes it look like I gave a good talk. All right, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. All right, I'm going to put that on Hinge later. Cool. Before I get into my talk, I want to talk about the first time that I ever met Charlie Cheever. A year ago, we started our company and we went to an accelerator program called HF0. HF0 brings amazing speakers in San Francisco to come and talk to us founders. Charlie Cheever came, he gave a talk, he talked about Expo, he talked about what it's like to be building a business, and at the time, being a Capacitor app, I could have asked any question in the world. I had Charlie there right in front of me. And I raised my hand and I asked Charlie, what's your opinion of Capacitor? You might have an imagination of how that went, but if not, I'll tell you. If you want to see Charlie's head almost explode, you should ask him what his opinion is of Capacitor. Wow, that joke did not land at all. We're going to move on to the slides. Charlie, if you're in the audience here, I don't know if you are. I was going to send you an email to tell you this, but it was insane that we chose Capacitor to build our app. And I'm happy to announce that we're finally a full React Native and Expo app, and Expo's been an amazing experience. So let's get into it. Your end-to-end tests are lying to you. Why we dropped the industry standard and let an AI agent test our app. We first set up end-to-end tests in our app because we need to test it. We were really excited about this. I told the whole team, anybody can build tests, and anybody can go in there and we can build flows, and this is going to be amazing. About 5 months into the process, this is what we were left with. We had found 3 real bugs in our app, and we run into roughly 56 test issues. These weren't bugs, this was maintenance that we had to do on our tests. So we had to do something better.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
This is how I feel about this. Quick intro on me. I'm Tyler Becks, CTO and co-founder of Gobi. We're building an app that helps you find what to do in the real world. When we first started the company, we set up the tests. This is what I told everybody. The more your tests resemble the way your software is used, the more confidence they can give you. What does this mean in practice? It means don't use test IDs. Test by what you see in the app. Test by the text that you see in the app. Test by selecting something on the placeholder. It's what the users would actually see. There's another very famous quote from Guillermo. Write tests, not too many, mostly integration. Coincidentally, I seem to get all of my engineering practices from Twitter. In practice, this is what we got. Very, very flaky integration tests. So I'm going to go through really quickly what the 4 eras of testing are on mobile apps. The first era is manual QA. These are humans clicking buttons. Yes, humans, these old sacks of meat, just using your app. Coincidentally, this is still one of the best ways to test your app. You open the app, you type in your email, you type in the password, you log in, and you see that the app has worked. A bit later, it doesn't scale. So somebody invented Appium. Appium was one of the first ways that you could actually test your app with code. Appium was one of the biggest innovations in mobile testing that we'd seen. And this is what it looks like. And quite honestly, it's not so bad, but I think syntactically there's a lot that you have to do. But this was a huge improvement. The next era of automation is flow automation, Maestro, Detox. And this is really nice. It's the same test, but now it's just YAML. And it's pretty close to just plain text here. Not quite, and we're going to see where this starts to break down, but this is a huge improvement on before, and there's a lot that's being handled for you, like setting up the driver and all that stuff. But then something happened a few years ago. Monkeys discovered mobile phones. No. ChatGPT was released. This is the AI era. This is the fourth era, and this is the era that we're currently in. And this is what we're currently experimenting with. And there's two players in this game that I know of, Autosana and Tester Army. This is what the test looks like. Same test, plain text. This is what I would tell a person if I was writing instructions. Log in with these credentials, verify the home screen appears. This is very similar to the first era of human testing. So let's get into it. I want to show some examples of what a test in Maestro would look like and what a test with Autosana would look like. So this is a very simple to-do app here, and I want to see what happens. So first task is that we want to add a task to our to-do app. So I got to remember to eat breakfast. Here's the Autosana test on the left, and here's our Maestro's on the left, Autosana's on the right. Great. Eat breakfast. We click the add button, and we assert that eat breakfast is in the list. Pretty simple. Both tests are passing. However, design decides that they don't like this add button. It's not very clear, and we have to change it to add to do. So we do that. We change it. Now it says add to do. However, we forgot to update our tests, because tests don't run in the PRs. They run nightly, overnight. So what happens? OK. We type in eat breakfast. We click on the add button. However, we were asserting by the text, as I mentioned before. The test on the left is failing, but Autosana, being an agent, it screenshotted the app, it's looked at it, and it figured out that the add to do button is the add button. It continues to pass, and the test succeeds. Our test on the left is flaky, and it fails. Now, this is one of my favorite types of tests, when you test that something is not visible on the screen. Now, this example is going to pass. We wrote the test once, and everything was working. We're going to add a task here. But sometimes our server has been throwing errors, and we don't know why. We hope that this time it doesn't happen, but we write a test to make sure that there's no server errors thrown. Oops, there was an error. Good thing we wrote the tests. The tests alert us that there was a failure, and we get to go in and investigate why it was happening. In this case, both of these tests were good. They failed correctly. On the one on the left, we say, oops, you made an error, not us. And here we say, verify error test, toast doesn't show. Both of them are failing. This is what we expect. However, design, once again, comes back to us and says that they don't like this message. Engineers being engineers, they said, oops, you made an error, not us. So what happens? We change the copy. Now the error toast says, oops, there was an error. But we forget to update the tests. Same test. We type in don't panic into the to-dos. We go next. However, the test on the left continues to pass because we're asserting that a toast that says, oops, you made an error, not us, is not visible on the screen, and in fact, it is not visible on the screen because the copy now says, oops, there was an error. The test on the right, however, continues to pass. All we said was verify an error toast doesn't show. Sorry, it doesn't pass, but it correctly informs us that there's a failure. This is expected. We expect that this test is failing because there's an error toast. I want to come back to this. There's a way that you address this. I didn't want to do this at the company, but we had to say, unfortunately, you cannot write these tests by selecting by text. It's what is ideal. It's what Kent Dodds recommends. It's pretty much what everybody recommends. The more your tests resemble the way your software is used, the more confidence they can give you. However, this wasn't working. We were managing these tests every single day, changing things. So we decided to add test IDs everywhere. This is what happens. This is our final test that I'm going to show you. Instead of selecting by the text on the test on the left with Maestro, we instead now have test IDs. OK. But in this case, Something else has happened. We've added a banner. We're announcing that we've migrated to React Native from Capacitor. We've put this big banner in here to make an announcement to our users. How does the test work? We input the text party. We click enter, sorting by ID. And then we try to tap on it. We want to mark it as completed. I don't know if you noticed this, but actually, the to-do is down here. We can't get to it. Autosana, however, uses its AI agent to not only look at what's happening, but to scroll the list. It's smart enough to scroll down and mark party as done. This is amazing. This seems subtle. It's amazing. I was mind blown when I saw this for the first time, and I'll show you this in actual practice. It just figures it out. Now, I mentioned something earlier in this talk. I said that human testers continue to be the best way to test our app. But is that actually true? Why are humans the best? They're using your app, and you can find little oddities when you're writing your tests. They can feel it. They can do usability testing. They can flag things that maybe feel a little bit off or inconsistent, things that weren't even in the test, but you noticed it. I have to exit this presentation mode. Now I want to show you a real test of a real app. This is our app. And show you how amazing this platform is. This test tries to find an event and mark an event as going. So what does it do? It clicks on the Events tab. It clicks on an event. OK, it finds the button. It clicks on the Save button. It clicks on the Going button. Now we want to assert that this event is going to show up in our events, our going events. So we click on the Calendar button up here. Oh, there's a bug. This is a real bug in our app, actually. The event isn't there. So what does the agent do? I didn't tell it to do this. The agent goes and clicks on Going. Oh, it's still not there. The agent clicks on Clear Filters. It's still not there. The agent, look at how hard the agent is trying to figure this out. I didn't tell it to do any of this. It's now closing the sheet. It's going back to the event. It's clicking on the event. It's marking it as going. It's unchecking it. It's going back. It clicks on it again, and it still doesn't show up. And this is the point that it fails. This is amazing. You could never do this. It's doing it. It's so smart. It was unbelievable the first time I saw this. I want to show you one more thing. I mentioned that humans can use your app and they can find things that seem a little bit off. They can notice things that feel different. I want to zoom in right here. This right here is calling something out that I didn't notice, and I brought it up to our designer, and he was like, oh, that's a really good point. We should change that. Here, on the entry of our app, this says My Places. Okay, this is to filter by my places that I've saved. However, here, in another part of the app, it says Saved Places. The copy is inconsistent. This was not part of the test. However, Autosana comes in and figures out there's an inconsistency. It flagged this to me. It wasn't even a part. I didn't tell it to do this. It called out the Explore filter bar uses the label My Places, while the corresponding filter in the search result sheet is labeled Saved Places. I brought this up and we fixed it literally the same day. This is unbelievable. And last night I was talking with the team, and we said, what's the only thing that we can't do with these AI agents? Well, it's probably usability testing. We give somebody an instruction, we say, figure this out, go do the app. High-level instructions, we're not going to tell you exactly how to do it, go figure it out. So I did that last night to see if it would work, and it was very, very interesting once again. I told the agent, find a restaurant and figure out what to order there. This is one of our users' favorite features of our app. We come in, the agent clicks on the Eat tab. It finds a restaurant. It clicks on it. Now notice, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is a bottom sheet, and it just slides the sheet up. It's doing it. I didn't tell it to do this. It's just doing it on its own. I didn't expect to happen next what happened next. We have a section in our sheet that says what to order. I was expecting it to go down and find this. However, it finds this input that says, ask Gobi about this. It stops here. It enters in a prompt to our AI agent. It asks it what to order at this restaurant, and it gets a result. This is 100% not what I was expecting, and I saw this and realized, well, that's actually a legitimate use case of this app. I want to call out one more thing here before I end this talk. This is another incredible feature of this platform, Autosana. They have a performance tab here. You can see how much memory is being used. Please don't look at this. Our memory is really high. CPU usage here. You get to monitor this as the test is running. You can see if there's any spikes. And amazingly, there's logs. You can see all of the logs that happen both on iOS, Android, and you can forward the logs from JavaScript over and see them all right here. Incredible. Now I want to wrap up this talk. We have a company culture at our company, Gobi. Every Monday we start with weekly planning, and we like to give shout-outs to the team. So I just want to give some special thanks to people that helped me with this. Special thanks to my CEO and co-founder, Shri. Shri's the one that found Autosana, and it's been an incredible partnership ever since we set it up. Patrick has been trudging through the testing with me and working on Maestro and Autosana. Philippe, another engineer that worked with us, an incredible engineer, and he was working and trudging through these end-to-end tests. Mihao is helping me set up this call and set up this talk. Special thanks to Mihao. And special thanks to UV and Jason. These are the co-founders of Autosana, two of them, and these guys are really responsive. I've given them feedback, and every single thing I've told them they've implemented. It's amazing to see how fast these guys can move. That concludes my talk. I don't really have a Twitter, so if you want to find me, come find me on Gobi. Thank you very much.